Welcome back. The wave of corporate layoffs continues to grow, unfortunately, and now General Motors is just the latest to announce job cuts. 1,700 workers are losing their positions in Michigan and Ohio.
And this all comes as other major employers, such as Amazon and Target, have already trimmed their workforce, while hundreds of thousands of federal employees remain either furloughed or laid off during the ongoing government shutdown.
Joining us now to discuss what steps to take if you find yourself suddenly unemployed is Michael Masserant from the Retirement Education Foundation. And as a financial instructor, he helps people navigate the challenging financial transitions. Thanks for joining us, Michael. We really appreciate your time. Michael, when someone first learns that they're being laid off, what's the first step they should take to evaluate their spending habits?
Yeah, layoffs are really tricky. When it comes to layoffs, people are typically caught off guard, and that's why it's so important to have an emergency fund built before something like this happens. If someone thinks they may be laid off, the first thing they've got to do is take stock of their budget. How much money do they have coming in? How much are they spending? And what amount of that spending is going towards wants versus needs? If you don't have an emergency fund built up, you've got to start to cut down on the want spending for a while and build up that emergency savings, because this can happen to anybody at any time.
Absolutely. And you know, we're seeing many families having to tighten their belts right now. What are some practical ways that people can immediately reduce their expenses without completely disrupting their lives?
Yeah, if someone's going to really take stock of their budget and try to break down, like I said before, the wants versus the needs, things like dining out, subscription costs, if there are ways we can trim those costs and, identify things that we don't really need to have in the budget anymore, those are the first things that should go. Also, if we have debt, if we're carrying credit card debt that carries high interest costs, we've got to get that debt knocked out as quickly as possible. People really, unfortunately, underestimate how expensive it is to carry that debt. So the faster we can get that knocked out, the better.
Yeah.
All right, let's hone in on emergency funds, because you mentioned that. How can someone quickly build a financial cushion? And for those who do already have an emergency fund, what's the smartest way to use those dollars?
Yeah, so the fastest way to build the emergency fund is not a sexy solution, but it's the answer is you got to spend less. We got to spend less to increase that emergency fund. And the best place to keep that is somewhere safe and liquid, like a high yield savings account. There are lots of places online now that are offering between 3% and 4% interest at high yield savings accounts. And that way the money is safe and growing for you in the meantime, so that if you do need to use it in an emergency, it's there for you.
Very good. All right, Michael Masserant, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.